उस टैलेंट से इंस्पायर हो गया हमारे गोकुल के कृष्ण कन्हैया पीयूष पाल से इंस्पायर हुआ कि कुछ कर दिखाएंगे हम भी। तो मैं देखिए उम्मीद है कि आप सब देखेंगे।
Few corrections. Piyush Pal Singh is not Krishna Kanhaiya. He's just a messenger of Krishna Kanhaiya here this time. So, okay. So as Janmashtami is also approaching, and in some way this Independence Day is also connected to Bhagavad Gita as well. That we will see how. So I will just try to. Anybody knows how many verses are there in Bhagavad Gita? Total? 700, correct. So let's cover 700 verses of Bhagavad Gita today, now. I know it is not possible, so I just try to select few, maybe 7 verses here, and I will actually we will try to recite them, read the translation, and then seeing a little bit of perspective of that, okay? I hope I will not take much of your time. So, basically, just to set a little background, what was happening there, Arjuna was perplexed, seeing his relatives in front of him when Bhagavad Gita was being needed basically to be spoken. So at that time, Arjuna told Krishna that I am not going to fight, right? So at that time, Krishna started giving him some knowledge that basically you are not this body, what you are thinking about. So this verse starts basically in 2nd chapter, and this verse tells us that how we are not what we feel usually. We are not this body. So what I will do, I will just read this first line from here, okay? Try to follow me, and I will first say Dehinosmin yatha dehe. So you will just say that, and that way we will recite the whole verse. Hopefully you are able to read that. We will read the translation after that, okay? Dehinosmin yatha dehe Kaumaram yauvanam jara Tatha dehantara prapti Dhiras tatra namuhyati. Okay, so this is the first verse where Krishna started telling about soul. And the translation goes as like this. As the embodied soul continuously passes in this body from boyhood to youth to old age, the soul similarly passes into another body at death. A sober person is not bewildered by such a change. So what do we understand here is, Krishna is telling that just like a soul, like I remember that I was a child sometime. I was not having this similar body that time. Maybe I was this small in the lap of my mother, right? Later on I became a little grown up, but I still remember those memories. So it means I was the same person, but I am no more that same body. So Krishna is telling here that that body keep on changing, but the soul remains the same. As per biology also, if we see, biology says that every 6 years, each one of our cell in our body is totally reformed. Means the cell I had 6 years ago, that is no more in this body now. So it means body is not that something that always remain with me. What remains with me is myself, the soul, right? So this is what this verse is trying to say here. This picture is nothing but depiction of that same fact, right? So we keep on changing. This is the birth here. Birth, after birth the person keep on growing. A time comes when the time in this body, the leasing time on this body, that is over. So we are kicked out of this body. That is the cycle of death. And this way it keeps on going. Another shloka, which again gives us this example. It's easy to understand things well with an example, right? We daily change our clothes when the clothes are dirty, right? So this verse is also talking about that. So this verse says, again the meter of this soul, this shloka, the tone is little different. So it goes, Vasansi jirnani yatha vihaya Navani grahanati naro parani Tatha sharirani vihaya jirnani Anyani samyati navani dehi. Okay, so the translation goes like this: as a person puts on new garments, giving up old ones, the soul similarly accepts new material bodies, giving up the old and useless ones. We know that by the old age comes, the body is really not in a shape that can be used for a long time more, right? So at that time, the soul basically gives up the body and moves into another body, which will be a little more suitable, right, to continue to live. So basically, apart from this, Krishna talks about souls a lot time, and it says that basically soul is never dying. It is eternal. Okay, it never dies. It always continues to remain, no matter in what body it is. Again, a similar depiction. So that was about soul, and then this verse, because it's also the occasion of Janmashtami, so this verse talks about Krishna's birth and appearance. So this verse says, Janma karma cha me divyam evam yo vetti tatvatah tyaktva deham punarjanma naiti mameti so Arjuna. The translation goes as like this: one who knows the transcendental nature of mind, appearance and activities does not, upon leaving this body, take his birth again in this material world, but attains my eternal abode, O Arjuna. Who is saying this? Lord Krishna is saying this, right? So he is telling that one who understands that mind means Krishna's birth and activities, those are not like us, what we do, right? Those are divine, those are out of this world, transcendental. Transcendental means transcend, okay? Which is beyond this world. So those activities are not like our activities. Krishna is not bound with the results of the activities that he does, but we are, right? So actually I'm trying to give little bit crux here because I cannot give all the 700 verses here. So just to give this idea that Krishna is having some divine activities, and keeping that mind, we should actually try to relate with him, okay? Moving further, he further talks about, like, okay, so in the last verse, Krishna was talking about the material world, right? That he never comes back to material world. What is the problem? We all are living here, right? So what is the problem staying here? We can continue to stay here forever. No problems, right? But the problem is, we will see that problem a little later also. We actually are going through various miseries, various problems in this world. For example, we all are growing older day by day, and we know by seeing around us that one day that will be the time when I will be older enough and I will need to move on, right? Same way, often here and there we all are falling sick, and there are many other miseries, right? So many, kabhi mosquito kaatta hai, to kabhi koi idhar-udhar ki cheez hai, right? So there are different type of miseries, those are there. But there is a word about which Krishna is talking about, my eternal abode. Why Krishna is telling about that? Because once you are there, these miseries that we are facing here, those miseries are not present. This world is known as Kuntha Jagat. Kuntha means where Kuntha is there. And that Jagat is known as Vaikuntha Jagat. Vaikuntha Jagat means there is no Kuntha. So we are happily, peacefully remaining there. Okay, once we are there. Fine? Okay, so moving ahead. Next verse says about Mamupetya punarjanma Dukkhalayam ashashvatam Napnuvanti mahatmanah Sansiddhim paramamrataha. Translation: after attaining me, the great souls who are yogis in devotion never return to this temporary world, which is full of miseries, because they have attained the highest perfection. Fine. So in this verse, Krishna talks about the word Dukkhalayam Ashashvatam. So as I asked in my last verse, that what is the problem if we continue to remain like this in the words? I'm happily staying here and I'm able to adjust basically, right? So Krishna says Dukkhalayam, fine. I say that okay, I'm fine with miseries. I can continue to remain here with miseries, the way it is, right? Krishna says that Ashashvatam means even if you are okay with staying with these miseries, Ashashvatam means this will not remain forever. Ashashvatam, this world and your existence in this world is is ashashvatam, means it has an end, it has a timeline. So once that timeline of that particular existence is over, you need to move on. Fine? So, and which we can see by simply when we are leaving this body, that time also we are going out of this cycle, right? So I don't know which body I will get next and what all miseries I will find, right? So Krishna is giving us two things here, Dukkhalayam plus Ashashvatam, right? Example, right? So how many of us have actually seen or known about the visa processes for US, UK? Some of us also get rejected sometimes, right? Why the US government is doing that much of visa processing, interviews and all that? दो दिन के लिए interview लेते हैं, पहले दिन उससे fingerprinting करते हैं, अगले दिन जाके interviews लेते हैं. Why they are trying to do that? Because they don't want unwanted people or any people who are not suitable to their own development strategy to enter into US. Correct? Same way. Krishna is saying, Mam Upetya, after reaching me, after attaining me, those miseries will not be there. But there needs to be a process by which we will achieve him. Correct? So that process is given in Bhagavad Gita or other verses. Thankfully, I am not planning to give you it today. Okay? So, so once we achieve that process, once we achieve that qualification to get into Krishna's abode, that time we will be free from this world or these miseries and this asashvatamness. Right? So that's what Krishna is trying to give the message here. He is basically advertising his US. Okay? Come to take my visa. And there is a process for that. Fine? And there is the eternal visa. It's not like after 10 years your US visa will expire and they will kick you off. No. Once you are there, Krishna says that stay with me happily. Okay? Then one instruction Krishna is giving about that. How to really qualify ourselves. That is one of the instruction. So we will see this as well. Yat karoshi yat asnasi yat juhosi dadasi yat tapasyasi kaunteya tat kurushva madarpanam. Translation: whatever you do, whatever you eat, whatever you offer or give away, and whatever austerities you perform, do that, O son of Kunti, as an offering to me. So whatever we do, we every day we eat, every day we do our office work, every day we do our homework, right? All the different things. Only thing we need to do is that we need to just learn how to offer everything to Krishna, okay, or God. Or means Krishna is basically a name of the same person. The same person is known by different names. My daughter calls me Papa, my wife calls me husband, my father calls me Beta, right? But I am the same person. Same way, Krishna is the name of the same person. Different religions call him different names. So when we try to adjust to this fact and we try to offer our everything, our activities to him, that Almighty, that time we gradually get purified and are in the process of moving forward for our visa application. Right? The last verse of the day. Manmana bhav madhyaji mam namashkuru mame vaishyasi yuktvevam atmanam madparayana. Translation: engage your mind always in thinking of me. Become my devotee, offer obeisances to me and worship me. Being completely absorbed in me, surely you will come to me. Fine? So this is a clue how we can apply for the visa for Krishna's abode. Right? In summary, last one slide where I will just try to summarize what Bhagavad Gita has to offer for us. Bhagavad Gita is basically a guidebook. It is not, few people feel that Bhagavad Gita is no more relevant today. Okay? If you try to read it, it is perfectly relevant. Everybody can actually practice this even now. So it's basically a guidebook for all the humanity. It answers the important questions about life. Who am I? Who is God? What to do? How to do? Right? All that. Helps us in figuring out and achieving the purpose of life. Everything has a purpose, right? In life. Do we have a purpose in life? Yes. Right. So we need to figure it out. Right? We need to figure it out. If we know it, well and good, continue to pursue it. If in case we don't need, Bhagavad Gita can help us in figuring out and achieving that. Helps to lead a life understanding our true identity as a spirit soul. Right? So as we discussed that we are not this body, we are a spirit soul. But often we see that our day usually pass on 24 hours, all the minutes, they are just passing on just to take care of this body, right? So we need to figure out that really, am I feeding something for my soul also? Am I doing something on day-to-day basis to do something for my soul? Because I am basically not this body, I am soul. Means the question should be, am I doing something for myself or not? For body I am doing everything. Or am I doing something for myself or not? So that should be the question that we should be pondering upon. Thank you.